It's known now that by the time that babies are born, they're able to recognize the voice of their mother. In one study, doctors gave day-old infants pacifiers that were attached to tape recorders. Depending on their sucking pattern, they would hear the voice of an unknown woman, or they would hear the voice of their mother. Within 10 to 20 minutes, the babies had adjusted their sucking pattern to where all they heard was the voice of their mother. A fascinating study indeed. And so this study shows us two things. One, the love of the mother's voice by the baby. And two, that the baby could quickly learn because it had been in the presence of its mother's womb for 9 months, constantly hearing her voice. Learning to recognize the voice of God is a lot like these babies. The more we surround ourselves with godly influences, the more we'll learn to recognize God's voice, but not just to recognize it, but to love it, to where we start to change our patterns of life to where we want to make sure that we're hearing this voice of God. We learn to love it, and we learn to do it. It doesn't just happen. We have to train ourselves. This is why when George does baby dedications, he challenges parents to raise children within the precincts of the temple. Church, this place that is full of godly people, is one of the greatest places that we can be in position to hear from the Lord. If we're being formed more by television and news and other aspects of our culture, because we learn quickly, just like these babies, we're going to become more like those things than we are like God. It's going to make it difficult to know when God is calling.